Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Limitless DxT coverage here on a Monday night for LFR MNR's round 8 here at the Hungarian Grand Prix around the Hungaro Ring. We've got a full 20 tonight, a full 20 driver grid, and just lonely old me tonight riding solo. As unusual as it is, Lee is not able to be with us tonight, but of course we've got these 20 who can be on track with us tonight, and of course looking forward to that one. And the title is really starting to hotten up at the top between Apex, Namiaguna and Leclerc, and Big Weir unfortunately isn't here tonight, but he has got a good reserve in his place to get some constructors points for Aston Martin. The Aston Martin driver of Tuesday, Tim Shapop, as my phone goes off, and that's very unprofessional, Joe. Sorry for starting a little bit late, just making sure that we had that full grid. We've still got 15 seconds until the lobby will be starting. So are we going to see some mixed conditions here in Hungary? Of course, a few weeks ago in the Hungarian Grand Prix and of course the Formula One Championship, there was absolute carnage at turn 1 in those wet conditions. So we get into qualifying now, and 18 minutes and counting, or a bit less than that already. And as I said, the 20 drivers. We've got Stinos back again, wasn't able to race last night, but let's see if he can make it 3 out of 3 tonight, make it a hat-trick of wins. I potentially could be saying that at the end of this session that we're going to be watching here. Freedom has now left the session, and we'll hope someone will be able to give him an invite back, as we see some drivers coming out of the pit lane already. And welcome everyone who's watching on Limitless DxT. It's great to have you, and great to have you on board with me watching along with these drivers. You see Alpine of Trunders coming down the back straight, the first of the 2 DRS straights around here, and of course there's one on the start finish straight, but the activation point is before the line as he's coming around turn 3 and up the hill towards turn 4 now. So we'll have a quick peek on what tyres these drivers are running in this session. There's a little mix. There's a lot of medium tyres on those medium tyres. Again, all my words muddled up being on my own. I haven't drank any of my coffee yet, as we're seeing that Alpine still of Trunders trundling around the track, ready to start his hot lap. We'll just work out in a second, so we'll put the good old track map on and the lap delta and see. I think it could be Apex, our championship leader, the number 23 man, of course, Alex Albon's number. We'll be able to have that next year, Apex. This will be a 1-year deal on that number as he comes across the line in the Alpine to start his first flyer, and see Trunders in the background. Maybe to get a slight toe there from Apex, but we'll have to wait and see throughout the lap if that was beneficial or not. You see the Aston Martin careering onto the grass there to get out of the way of the championship leader as he comes through turn 3 and invalidates there. He was too greedy on his entry. Flat out, of course, through turn 3 and up the hill towards turn 4 as he now lets Trunders go and gets on the grass himself to miss that Aston Martin. And I think that was Tim Shapop. I just didn't catch him, but we have got the other Aston Martin, the full-timer on Monday night, and a chosen teammate for Big Weir. And if you're ever watching this, Jason, hope you're having a good holiday, mate, as we're seeing your teammate coming around this middle sector through that flat-out kink left-hander and into the right. You can take a lot of curve there on the exit as he takes the next delta time there in sector 2, and he's certainly on a flyer at the moment as he comes round the penultimate corner. And we'll see what sort of time he can reduce. We have had a time from Trunders of a 16.777. He does a 15.762, so just over a second faster, and Phoenix comes up close behind Trunders there. So we're seeing some more times rocket down there. We got the Ferrari driver of Just Gaming Real on those mediums, who is at the bottom of the pack in terms of timings at the moment. Got Anthony, who's also on a lap. The medium tyres not looking like they're working, and it doesn't look like he's working out at turn 1 for Phoenix. The Mercedes driver is spun round the wrong way. He's got it all going in the right direction now, but he has got a Haas, I think, or an Alfa Romeo behind him for company there as he lets him go flew on his flyer, and I think that's a H Bosworth there, and of course the 2-1 teammates from last season, and he has invalidated his lap time through turn 4. It's a bit of a tricky one for track limits here. It is super on it on these corners, and you really want to eke out the time. Of course, Hungary, Monaco without walls, as it's so called, as it is a very tight circuit. May not see so much overtaking, but Tim Shapop, it's Aston Martin 1-2 at the moment, and he takes provisional pole position as Tay Pasta crosses the line, goes third fastest, and the Alpine is in third. And these top drivers in this league, apart from Tim Shapop, who's obviously reserving tonight in that Aston Martin, are all in the contention for this championship, as well as Leclerc actually. And Apex now sneaks in to third place as I say that. We've got these front runners who are all fighting really hard throughout this 18 race season. I thought I said something wrong when I didn't. As we see Yo-Yo about to come into the pitch, got Freedom, who's invalidated his lap time. Milan Massimo, who is on the medium tyre. Just comes up towards turn 4 now. We have a retirement from boosted, and he's going to need some sort of boost in this race, because potentially and very most likely he's going to be starting last in this Hungarian Grand Prix. We're seeing yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. See the AlphaTauri getting out of the way of his fellow AlphaTauri teammate as he comes down the hill. Milan Massimo on those mediums. See what he can do as he comes around the final 2 corners now. So he can pull in some good points for his teammate, so-called Dr. Wolfgang, of course, in reserving for him tonight. And won't be with us tomorrow night. He goes 13th fastest on those mediums, so Just Gaming Real needs to get a real good lap in next time to get up the order. As you see Freedom coming around turn 11 and down towards turn 12 at the end of sector 2 and into sector 3. 3 really tricky corners in sector 3, that's all there is. So we've got that tight right-hander where we may see some overtaking, this long left and into a long right. And it's never ending, these corners, and you really want to get on the power early out of that corner towards the line. And it's not a long run towards the line. He splits the Aston Martins. It's Mercedes in second place, but it's still an Aston Martin 1-3, and they're sharing the first position on each of their rows, and row 1 and 2. Amit Guna is on an outlap. And let's see, I think we've got Vedran on a lap, and we're going to have Stinos just starting a lap. As we see Vedran now coming down towards turn 2. There's another place where you might see some wheel-to-wheel action around this circuit as we come up the hill now towards turn 4, where it will usually end just here, which of course we saw earlier on in the year with Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton fighting for a good few laps, with a few laps to go in that race, and definitely stopped Lewis from winning that Hungarian Grand Prix. And of course having Esteban Ocon, 2 outsiders of course this year in the championship, who have won this race. Wouldn't really call Daniel Ricciardo an outsider, but that McLaren isn't as fast as that Red Bull or Mercedes, and Vedran is going fast like a Red Bull or a Mercedes at the moment, but he's in a Williams, and I say that, and that's the commentator's curse already, ladies and gentlemen. We've only had just under 10 minutes of qualifying, see Barry say good luck to everyone there. You see Vedran come across the line, and he really lost a lot of time with that mistake in turn 12. Amir Guna, 5-place grid penalty for causing a collision with Leclerc. Interesting. Not too sure what happened there, but he's going to have a little bit of work to do. So Boosted is now right down the back of the order now, and only H. Bosworth is behind him. But even if he sets a from now a 7-minute lap time, he would still get ahead of him as he's out. Well, actually no, he wouldn't. He's actually set a lap time, so he does need to set some sort of decent lap. And Amir Guna there with no front wing, no traffic behind. He's getting nicely out of the way. Stinos is set a lap, and he's rounding into the wall as we caught him there, and he's really pushed the limits to that McLaren and pushed him too hard, and ended up with Egg on face there as he comes out of the chicane and through turn 6 and 7, and he's most certainly going to have lost his wing there. Seen more drivers going onto the board there. I think that was Phoenix crossing the line, goes 8th. Just taking a little sip of a coffee there. I apologise. That's the great thing about co-commentator. You can have a drink and no one really notices. But when you're on your own, the magic somewhat disappears. Like, we're going to try and get a thumbnail for this video, and I'm going to have to do that in potentially some points. You may lose some graphics for a minute or two, but we'll get by as we always do. Tim Shapop is still going faster now, actually, in that Aston Martin. Jake Saber takes the top spot now. He's on provisional pole. It's a McLaren on pole position. Might that be 2 days in a row for the McLaren team, even in esports or real life? But I'm sure his teammate of Stinos, who's surely going to go on the soft tyres, he's going to be challenging for that pole. So I think it's going to be an Aston McLaren fight for this race, potentially. As you see, Tim does go faster, but not fast enough. They've got a lot of time in their pocket, though, from Freedom, who is now starting a lap, and these times are starting to hot up and get faster and faster as the track beds in and gets more grip and more confidence from these drivers. As we're seeing Apex, who is on a flyer, we'll stick with him as he's coming down towards turn 12. Championship leader is coming round the final 2 corners. And exits the final, and see if he can improve his 57.7. He does. He goes to 15.7. He does improve, but he just gets above the 15.7 again with the 15.701, and still by and large really far away from Tim Shapop and Jake Saber. And riding with Tim Shapop at the moment. Is he going to bail in? I think he is. He's got enough time for one more lap to get that in. See what Justin can do. Just gaming real. See if he can get himself a really decent lap time in. Guys, and they who are watching, please put down in the comments for me, who do you think is going to win this race? Is it going to be a hat-trick of wins for Stinos? Is it going to be a McLaren win with Jake Saber, or an Aston Martin win between Bugs and Tim? And of course, a championship leader. There's a few drivers really in for the mix for this race, and we'd love to see your predictions about that. Of course, I know a lot of you will have done this already, but if anyone new is watching, please make sure to like, share and subscribe on these videos. We've got 4 days of action on F1 2021, and coming from Sunday to Monday with our league from Limitless and LFR from Sunday to Tuesday, 6 p.m. on a Sunday UK time, and 7:30 Monday and Tuesday, and SRM Esports helmed by Justin on a Wednesday night, 7:30. Also all the same format. We do have a few sprint races throughout the 4 days actually, and they will be coming up shortly. And I think we're going to be adding a 4th sprint race with 2 different formats. We've done one format, we're going to try a different sprint format, do the 2, and then potentially carry them over into next season, and maybe doing a one-on, one-off system of that, just to mix things up. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. We've definitely got another one coming just after the mid-season break in a week's time. Then we'll be having a week off and back again for the last 9 rounds. And I got a feeling that Abu Dhabi might go all the way to Abu Dhabi and right down to the wire between some of these drivers. Bugs is out on an out lap. Amir Guna is pulling a good lap. We were saying last week that his qualifying pace isn't the best, and Anthony goes even faster, but Amir Guna is talking about that. He doesn't do the best qualifying. I think he wouldn't disagree with me on that. Today he's doing an absolute great job, but his race pace over his qualifying is always a lot better. His qualifying's not bad, don't get me wrong, but his race pace is sublime compared to his quali pace. But today he's put himself in a right good position there to be fighting for this race win. Got the top 2 still in the pits, and they will be coming out, I suspect, very shortly. Both Mercedes are out on track now. And Just Gaming has retired. I don't think he had enough left to do a lap. For some reason, he went on the mediums all 4 laps. So are these drivers going to do another lap? No, I think they're bailing in. Anthony's bailing in. I don't think he's going to get enough time here to do another one. I don't suspect it. Amir Guni's definitely not going to get another lap in if he dives into the pits, which he does. And so I think that's it for those drivers. So just waiting to see a few of these drivers on their out laps. We'll stick with Bugs Bunny. Actually, we may have some drivers a bit further up the road, and I think it's actually these two side by side, neck and neck, in terms of their quali times and on track at the moment. They are very, very close together, so this will be easy to track between the two of them. A lot of drivers are on out laps. We'll see what Trunders can do. He hasn't invalidated. He is still on form at the moment for a good time, potentially. We didn't see his sector times, but you're going to see him for the last couple of corners as he comes around the final of turn 14 onto the start finish. Going to have DRS wide open in a few moments time. There we go, and he's going to cross the line now, and doesn't improve on his time, but might be going again. We'll have to wait and see about that. We'll go back towards the front. I think Bugs is going to do another lap, but he's got to be careful because he's got traffic coming up behind him very, very soon. As we're seeing Apex Finley, Freedom has lost his wing, and it's certainly freed its way from the car, and that's not going to do him any good at all. Tay Pasta and Leclerc are going again. By the looks of things, the checker is still not out. As you see Apex come across the line, he goes 5th fastest. He knocks Amir Guna down 1 place. Anthony has had a pretty decent time, but not close enough to challenge those top 2. Tim isn't going to improve. He invalidates his lap time, and we'll see what Jake Saber can do. He's still on a flyer. Checker flag is now out, and Jake is going to be the first of the drivers, I think, to be setting his lap. I think we've got Yo-Yo behind as he goes across the line. He goes faster, 15.00022, as we see Yo-Yo come across the line now. Goes a little faster, moves up to 15th. We've got Cons, who's round. He told me earlier he's struggling on that controller. Vedran is down in 12th. Tay Pasta has now retired. And these times towards the top are very, very close. And Stinos, sorry, we didn't even catch that, has taken pole position. It's a McLaren 1-2 at the start of this race. To see if it is at the end like it was in Monza a couple of weeks ago. And we'll see what happens in the race in a few moments' time. I think we're just waiting for Phoenix, who's the last man to finish his lap. But I think he's done. He can't improve as he comes across the line now. And just waiting for these two drivers in the pits. Apex, you can hear me, you can just retire, buddy, as you're in the pits. Well, there we go. As now we have finished this qualifying session. Stinos is on pole once again. Can anyone challenge this man? Is he going to get a hat-trick? As I said last week, and as Crofty said before, it was double touch delight for him in Singapore. But is he going to make it a trio? Only time will tell on that one. Here's the top 10 for the start of this race. Stinos takes pole position. Jake Sabre joins him on the front row. Tim is in third. Anthony is in fourth. Bugs Bunny is fifth. Sixth is Apex Finley. Amir is in seventh. Freedom is in eighth. Ninth is Tay Pasta. And Charlie Leclerc, is in 10th. And we'll be back in a few seconds' time, guys. And we are back, guys, and these drivers have now sorted their setups, and we're about to get away on the formation lap for this race. It's a McLaren 1-2 at the start of the race. It's all papaya orange at the front of this grid, and I say that. Tim has now decided he wants that second place in the formation lap for whatever reason. Let's hope he gives that place back, as of course he should. But not sure if Jake is going to want to take that and cause the risk of being disqualified. We'll have a quick look at the tyre situation before the start of this race. Mediums all the way to the back, apart from Amir Guna on the softs, but of course had that 5th place grid penalty, is now starting down in 12th. And DxT Cons, keep an eye out for him on those hard tyres. Very interesting for that man, but everyone else towards the back are on mediums. So everyone with choice took mediums, apart from DxT Cons, and Emily, of course, had no choice in that. So 35 laps we're going to run here at Hungary, 50% race distance, more than enough to give you guys some good on-track action on a Monday night, as we do have some serious pace at the front of this grid. So two reserves actually in the top, two of the top 3 positions, and they're going to get good constructors points for their teams. And of course, Youngman not being with the McLaren now, so Jake just taking up that seat. Tim Chapop, of course, taking over for Big Weir. I'm sure Big Weir might have been up there. There was your pit stop predictions, ladies and gents. 2 stop, soft, medium, or a soft, hard, or of course a hard, soft, or a medium, soft, whichever way round. Soft, you know what I mean. So many different variations. My brain just cannot keep up. We're just going to wait for Boosted to take up that last position on the grid. and then we'll be away. Hopefully we'll get a slightly better camera position. Is Stinos going to get a hat-trick of wins here? Is Jake going to cause an upset for him? Only time will tell as we're about to get underway. We've got 4 and 5 red lights. And Freedom has got a jump start, and we're away for Monday night racing here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. And don't worry about Freedom, he's not in the lead. Stinos is, and he got a good start, and so is an Aston Martin behind. The McLaren has to go defensive of Jake Sabre, and Tim looks like he's going to try and go the long way round. They go side by side through turn 1, but Stinos has got a good gap there from the other two as they do still go side by side through turn 2, and this is going to carry on through turn 3, and now Jake Sabre takes that position, and there is still some fighting going on in the background as we've got all 20 drivers. No collisions in the first few corners. That is fantastic stuff. We haven't had too many major positions apart from Freedom. Of course, he's now going to have to serve a drive-through. Seen some battling from Phoenix and Bugs Bunny. Phoenix had to back out of Bugs Bunny, had to back out of it there, and we see Phoenix, who have gone off onto the grass, and he's down in last place, but he'll have Freedom for company when he does have to do that drive-through penalty. An uncharacteristic mistake at the start. Milan Massimo is round. He does what I did last week in the AlphaTauri. That is a bit of a curse on the AlphaTauri drivers there through turn 11, and he has caused himself to spin. Phoenix has now gained himself a position. Freedom dives straight into the pits. He thinks that's the best option, and it probably potentially might be, as we see these drivers in the background trying to break the toe a little bit, as we see Tate Pasta go to the inside on Bugs Bunny into turn 1. That was a great move from the Alpine, but the Aston Martin thinks, oh no, I'm not letting you have that so easily. He's going to try and fight back, but that position has now been gained, and he moves up to 5th place. Does Tate Pasta, and he's going to hunt down that Red Bull of Charlie Leclerc. And Jake, of course, is falling down in position, and I feel like we're going to have a great fight at the front of this pack. As Anthony now comes out the pits. Freedom is in 18th, so he lost out massively there from where he started. He has now dropped 11 positions, as you can see. So Jake Sabre and Tim Shapop have moved up positions. We've got fights here between Just Gaming and H. Bosworth side by side. They go through turn 11, and they're going to carry on towards turn 12. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? As they're still side by side, H. Bosworth is not giving this up, and he has to now as Jake Sabre, Just Gaming moves up into 9th place. It's the Alfa Romeos nose to tail at the moment in 10th and 11th. It's Apex and Cons who's struggling on that pad and needs to be wary of drivers behind him, as Phoenix is now gaining the position on him and is trying, or potentially not, as he does just brake later. But is Cons going to try and get the switcheroo? But it doesn't look likely, as we're seeing some drivers now fighting positions. Vajan moves up a position and is now in an Alfa Romeo sandwich. We'll go back towards the front. It's the front three are all incredibly close together. This is great action between these three drivers, and they're very, very close. A slight gap to 4th place, but not very much. So competitive around here. Boosted is in the pits and now back out. Freedom is now moving up. Are we going to see a Max Verstappen Sochi charge from Freedom here? You think he needs it, as he's moved all the way back to 18th and moved up 2 positions already, so he's got a good chance of moving up a great deal position. But you don't want to have a you don't want to be having a drive-through penalty here. It is definitely not the easiest place to make overtakes. And as we see these 3 drivers come round the final corner onto the start finish for the 4th time today. It's McLaren 2-3 at the moment. Stinos is being challenged. It's Dutchman versus Dutchman for the win at the moment. It's Tim versus Stinos. Let's see if Tim can cause Stinos a little bit of an upset. Vajan is causing H. Bosworth an upset by gaining that 10th place and is now on the points board in this race as it stands. And he's hopefully going to try and move up on Just Gaming, who has made up a huge amount of places, I think. We're just going to see, I think so, yeah, 9 places for him. DxT Cons is in the pit lane. Bugs Bunny is right on the back of Tayfaster. You did see a move from Tayfaster a few laps ago. It was a great move, but Bugs isn't done with him just yet. And a second separates the top two. Tim is starting to flex the muscles a little bit and try and gain some positions. Stenos is using that very wide line there that you can use at Hungary, and a lot of the other drivers are exploiting that. Why not? They didn't get the game right, so we're not going to punish them for it. As you want to try and gain every inch, and Phoenix is out of this race. That could cause a safety car, and drivers need to be a little bit more respectful of the yellows, as Milan almost caused a huge accident there. Drivers are in the pit, safety car is deployed. This is going to make things a little bit interesting. We're on lap 5. And I think Phoenix must have made some sort of error there, a la turn 11. As we're just watching to see what these drivers do with the pit stops, and some drivers towards the back, everyone from 13th back have pitted. We've got 19 drivers left in this Hungarian Grand Prix. Phoenix has just gone out. Safety car is now deployed. We've got a position change from Anthony and Freedom there. I think he just had to give the position back. Tyre wise, the top 5 are the only ones now on the soft, so everyone behind pitted and got off those, and that's very interesting to see that these drivers have stuck with it. It was a little bit early maybe to be pitting, but it depends how long the safety car stays out for, but of course not very long. It has brought Freedom right back into this now, and he's going to be thanking the racing gods after that safety car and that horrendous start of his. Of course, with the jump start, I think that's the first jump start of the season, so everyone's been very consistent with their starts and not jumping, but of course it can just be a little flick of the muscle or anything like that. So we're definitely going to get another lap of this, and I'm just going to go and have a quick refreshment. And as we're seeing these drivers, we will leave it just a second, as these front runners have now all come into the pits, and Bugs has got himself a 5-second penalty, but was it worth it? He tried to do a lovely Sebastian Vettel-esque pit lane entry, but he got held up by his teammates. So it didn't really make an awful lot of distance. He got a 5-second penalty, and now he's right towards the back of the field, and they are right back to the back of the field. Stenos is in the back. He's going to have to do some sort of Max Verstappen-esque magic drive now to get himself back up, but I'm sure he has got that in his locker. So he comes down towards turn 1 to catch the back of that queue. We'll be back in a few moments' time. If anyone can hear me, guys, I think I'm just having some technical issues there. There we go. We are back, and I do apologise about that. I thought the mic was working. I said it was on, but for some reason it wasn't. But some of this racing is most certainly on, as we're seeing. Thank you for that, Wolsey. As I hope you're enjoying the stream, buddies. Look like you might have had a driver leave the session there, and all carnage has been ensuing as this race, as you've been able to see, but not hear from me, and I do apologise about that once again. But we do have drivers who are most certainly fighting for some serious positions here, and some of the drivers at the front are really trying to get their elbows out and keep these positions, but it might be inevitable that they're going to lose them eventually, as we see Iggy Combo is now the cork in the bottle, as we see them come round turn 11 and down this little crest into turn 12, and he is really holding these guys up at the moment. Tim Chapot has been able to move back up and is in the net lead at the moment, as he's already stopped. The drivers all ahead of him are yet to stop. I'm sure we're going to see Jake Sabre make a move here. We're also going to see Freedom try and make a move, or Amir Guna. All these drivers behind are really trying to get through here. There's some more another action from the Alfa Romeo ahead, and there's late braking there from Amir Guna in that Haas, and Freedom is going to look up for a move on the inside here. Hart versus Medium, Alfa Romeo versus Mercedes, and Iggy is giving no quarter there, but he has to give it up eventually as we come around turn 3 and up the hill. Leclerc has got a 3-second time penalty side by side for Bugs Bunny and Apex, as Bugs now tries to make a move on Anthony. It's all kicking off at the back between these drivers, and Bugs is off the road, as Apex has most certainly got the bit between his teeth, and they're still side by side between Anthony and Apex. Great racing between these two as they went side by side all the way from the chicane all the way to turn 8, and now coming down towards turn 12. How many overtakes are we going to see on this start finish straight? Is all these drivers that are in a big queue being held up by slower drivers ahead of them, either in pace or due to their strategies and not yet pitting? We'll have to wait and see. It's notoriously hard to overtake around this circuit. As you see Anthony go for a little dummy there. We'll look at Iggy and Amir Guna first, and Leclerc and Anthony are getting elbows out. Sorry, Apex and Anthony, and they're still side by side. The Aston Martin and Bugs Bunny's trying to get involved, and there is a bit of contact between the two of them, wheel banging, and Apex looks like he can have the inside line, and Anthony tries to hold it out round the outside. Milan Basimo gets a penalty. Bugs goes through on Anthony as well, and there's moves between 12 and up to 12 and 13th. I can't keep up with all this on my own. I need some help, guys, as Jake Sabre is right on the back of Milan Massimo. This is an absolute epic race. Justin has just lost position to Tim Chapot. Milan Massimo is round. Big lock up there, big 11s he's made on the circuit. Gets himself back on the track in 14th. You have to try and get on with it. I'm seeing Iggy hold up a couple of cars now. Jake and Freedom are moving in tandem here, trying to catch up to H. Bosworth, and just gaming ahead. Tim has made incredible progress in this race. How are you guys liking this one? And he overtakes Vedran now on the inside at turn 1, and we're seeing some more moves between Amir Guna and Apex. He's looking to the inside. We've got Bugs right on the gearbox of that Alpha Tauri. He now goes past the Alfa Romeo and moves himself up into 11th place. DxT Cons overtakes Milan Massimo, who is in the pit lane. So you see Anthony round. He has been getting his elbows out quite a lot, getting quite aggressive in this race, and it looks like it's now cost him somewhat. Don't hit the wall there, mate. As you've got traffic behind the Haas, and he does just get out the way there. Not too sure who that was. I think that was boosted, actually, lapped car. Still seeing Bugs and Apex very close together And we're seeing this race really start to unfold now. We're not even at half distance yet. I'm not too sure how this is going to go, if I'm being quite honest, but Bugs is going to try and have a go into turn 12. Later on the brakes he goes. I said there might be some action here, and there has been, and he moves up into 10th place. As you see Bugs go defensive, there's some moves towards the front between the Williams and the Alpine side by side, between Vedran and Trunders, as they still go side by side through turn 2 and now through turn 3 and up the hill towards turn 4. And Vedran has got that position and is able to keep it for at least a few corners, probably to the end of this lap. Just Gaming has got H. Bosworth right on the back of him, same age of tyre for these 2 yellow flags. Not sure who that was for, but it's gone now, as Jake is now called up to the back of Just Gaming and H. Bosworth. That didn't take long, about a lap and a half, and Freedom is going to be right on them as well. DxT Cons has got a 3-second time penalty, and he's actually facing the wrong way. Stinos is really on the charge in this race, and he's going to have to try and make up a hell of time here, or hope for a safety car. If anyone didn't know, we had some carnage after a safety car. Stinos was on pole. Freedom got a drive-through penalty, but this somehow got himself up into 7th, and now Jake gets himself up into 5th on the start-finish straight, overtakes H. Bosworth before the braking zone, well before the braking zone. And another yellow there. I suspect that'll be Cons. Said driving on a pad for the first time in a long time is now a real user, and I can understand why he's struggling massively. It's a completely different ball game. This is going to be a seriously good fight for second, potentially third in the coming laps. As you see Tay into the pit lane, Stinos moves up another position. What's Tay now going to do? He goes on to the mediums, and lovely little glitch there. Cons is in the wall and retired. Very strange for DxT Cons. That might be a safety car deployed, but that is very, very interesting. There he is on the outside, but race director is not seeming that necessary. We're now down to 18 drivers in this race, and it's great to not see such high attrition as we can do in some races. Seeing some on-track action here with pit lane entries galore. Seeing a bit of glitching going on here as these drivers into the pit lane. As we see Iggy Combo at the moment in 8th place. We're just riding with him, and we're now with Freedom, and we see Bugs Bunny is out of this race, and he's out, and that's going to be a full course. It is. It's a safety car. We have another one on lap 17. That's going to punch up the field quite considerably. And Tay is just gone onto his tyres. So was that a strategy masterstroke from the man, as he's just decided to pit? Stinos is on those softs, trying to gain back a bit of time. And you see there's the safety car on the left hand side of the track, in a nice safe position on this track, as Tim dives into the pit lane. What's he going for now? I think he drives on the soft, so this is probably going to be another medium set for him as he's in to the box. And yet another set of medium tyres, slick. And Jake Sabre also onto a set of the mediums. Leclerc is in, Amir Guna is in. And we'll just see where these drivers are coming down the start finish. This is going to be close between some of these drivers on the exit, I think. As there they come. And I think, yeah, Just Gaming just got ahead of him. And that's going to be an interesting tussle for that position. Whose position is it? Yeah, I think it was Just Gaming's position. And under the safety car, once again, we've still got 17 drivers in this race. We've now lost 3 on lap 17. As I just said, 17 drivers remaining. Nice round number there. Stinos is in the pits. Tay, Milan are going to overtake him. I don't think Yo-Yo is going to be overtaken. Boosted is lapped. And Stinos into turn 1 does get ahead of Milan. So he's now just behind Tay Pasta. And the grid is somewhat formed up a little bit better. Freedom is in the lead now. This is interesting. On those hard tyres. Is he going to get the warm-up he necessarily needs for this race? He's the man with the oldest tyres. As Jake Bedford talks about overtakes there in some bad language. He's still in this race. Jake, how are you messaging, bub, when you shouldn't be paused? I hope you weren't in AI, mate, for that one, but thanks for your comment nonetheless, and we'll have to see what happens in this race. Now we've got 4 drivers at the front who have got some very decent speed. Iggy and Anthony are changing positions there. Very interesting. Did Iggy spin? Vicky spun. He's well within his rights to take that position, but interesting. We see a penalty come up for sure. Seeing Tay coming around the final couple of corners. So we've got Boosted, who is in 17th, sort of in the mid pack of the. It's just such a shame this game won't let drivers unlap themselves. Unfortunately, we have Bugs leave the session. Farewell. And we'll see you tomorrow night. A man who does the trio, one of a few men who do the trio races, of course, with Wolfgang and Apex up until a couple of weeks ago. Who's now dropped out of Tuesdays, so he's a double night wonder for LFR, not a trio. As only a select few are, and just waiting for this safety car to be done and dusted so we can get back underway. My presumption is we're going to have another lap, and if so, I'm going to have another little refreshment break, but we'll just wait to see. We don't want to be missing any safety car restarts. Oh no, but we'll have to wait until we go past the pit lane for sure. He might come in this lap, but I don't think so. He's going to wait for Yo-Yo to catch up, and he is quite far back still, and we'll have to wait and see. And the safety car is in this lap. That was a very, very late call, and I think Yo-Yo might just catch up if he's lucky. But we have got racing once again. Freedom gets an excellent start, as he usually does, and it caught Tim Shapop off guard, and Jake Saber isn't going to be close enough for any sort of overtake there. We're looking towards the back, and we've got Apex looking to the inside of Amir Guna, but isn't able to make up any positions just yet. We're back racing on lap 20 of 35, and Freedom is our race leader. We're probably going to have to pit again. We're seeing some battles there between Leclerc and Just Gaming, and Leclerc goes through into 5th place. Let's just hope this is a better restart than it was last race. And you see Tim right on the back of Freedom. He might have made a mistake not to pit under that safety car, but only time will tell. We may have another one, of course, but potentially we're going to have an overtake here from Tim on the inside at turn 12. Easy pickings there, but not so easy for some of these drivers towards the back. I think Iggy has gone round. Amir Guna has moved up. Sorry about that. As Yo-Yo is almost caught up to the back of the pack, but he just wasn't able to catch up in time. Jake Saber goes to the inside on Freedom. Tim goes up into the lead. That might have been a bad choice for Freedom, as he might get swamped by all these drivers behind him. As we come through turn 3 and on the rise towards turn 4, well, these drivers very, very close together, but no overtakes into turn 4. It's a very risky one if you want to do it there. There's sometimes options into the chicane just here, and the track is very, very close and right in those curves as much as possible as we come around turn 8 and 9. I'm sorry, this flat out turn 10 into the almost flat out turn 11. As I said, you can run wide there. Some drivers will do it, but others will want to take the more respectful line through there. We've got a yellow flag again. Between Yo-Yo and Iggy, as we're seeing Trunders is round and not too sure what happened there. We might have some stewards dealing with some incidents in this race. Potentially DRS is now enabled, and this will be the last time on the straight where they don't get the aid. It's old school for Tay Pastor, and is it going to be an old school move as Stinos is trying to get into the action as well? You see another yellow flag, but I don't think that's anything to worry about racing wise. And seeing this battle for 9th place really hotting up between these 3. H-Boss was trying to keep with them, but he's got himself another time penalty. Only 4 drivers with time penalties in this race. So just seeing if there's going to be any overtakes potentially here again with Stinos and Tay Pastor. Is Stinos going to go for a move there or be a bit more sensible? I think he's going to have to be a bit sensible, as he's going to try for a bit of a lunge here. He does go on the brakes, a bit of lag there for Tay Pastor, and Boosted is now out and retires in the pit lane, down to 16 drivers on lap 22. As you see Stinos move up into the points and start bearing down on those drivers ahead of him. I think Tay might try to go back, but Freedom is going back and is off onto the hard stuff there, and looks like Leclerc is going to move up a position as well. And a yellow flag there from Milan, and Massimo really struggling with this game. Not sure if he is a latecomer. I think he was struggling last week as well. And Freedom is round and into the wall, and this is the problem with Freedom. And he has retired on track. Not what we like to see. And another retirement from Milan Massimo as well. So safety car deployed again. We're down to 14 now, and there has been a bit of carnage in this race. And drivers into the pit lane, Trunders and H. Bosworth. The drivers at the front are not going to pit. Third time the safety car has been out now, more than I thought there was going to be. We really had a really good start, but the concentration is starting to lack for some of these drivers. as we still see Tim Schwab in the lead of this race. And I will now take a refreshment break. We'll be back on the next lap, which potentially will be the final safety car lap. So we'll be back in about a minute or two's time, guys. And I'll make sure my audio is working properly this time. Can everyone hear me now, guys? It just said my mic's working. I don't really know what's going on. Yeah, everyone can, so do apologise. I thought I got it working a couple of times and I hadn't, and we're back with Apex to see if we can get the rest of this race working. Thanks KTD for that little reminder there. Anthony gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and I think that was going off at turn 11. And just seeing them come round the final corner. It's 2 reserves, 1 and 2 at the moment, as we come down towards turn 1 for the 28th time. Just getting real is in 5th place. Told me earlier he'd be happy with the top 8 here at Hungary, so I'm sure he'll be very happy with a 5th place. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry, I'm having technical issues. Gonna have to make sure to work that out for next week if I ever pause the stream. I may not do that potentially. And just seeing the drivers make their way through turn 3 and up the hill. We come now to turn 4, and just watching Just Gaming again in Apex, not too far behind, trying to close up through turn 5 and get towards the chicane of 6 and 7. As we're going to see any action towards the back now, potentially. Got these drivers, they're all in very, very close proximity to each other, but of course very similar on pace between these drivers. Stinos might make an opportunistic move there. That might be overtake of the race there, and potentially, if we can get this done, squeezes out Anthony. Nice driving, aggressive, but nice driving from Stinos there, and making his way up to 7th place. And he's still going to try and be on the charge. He's not too far away from the leader. He's only 7 seconds back, so we'll have to wait and see about that. Leclerc making a bit of a dive there at turn 1. Bit of a lunge, try and get a bit later on the brakes on Jake Saber. So KTD, well, Wolseley, is it? How are you finding this race, guys? Hope you've been enjoying the action as much as I have, and I am able to see your comments, thankfully. As just seeing the position changes here between Stinos, Just Gaming, and Apex makes a misjudgment there and now loses another position as we come around turn 8 there, sorry. Now we're into turn 11, the treacherous turn 11, and we almost saw Apex there losing it, and he was right on the raggedy edge of his Alpha Tauri. As we come down to the penultimate side-by-side action, it's McLaren versus Ferrari, the oldest rivalry in F1, and they're going hammer and tongs at it now, and Stinos is now into 5th place and is going to go defensive. Is Just Gaming going to try and fight back towards turn 1? He does. He's going to have to go a long way round. Is it a switcheroo for Just Gaming? No. Stinos puts the brakes on and parks that car. He makes that like a big old London bus at turn 1. He really parked that on the Apex as we come through turn 3 now and up towards turn 4. And Just Gaming almost lost it there with the white stuff. Do not touch that white curb, Justin. That is not your friend, nor is that curb your friend, Apex, as you saw him almost losing it. Got H. Bosworth and Yo-Yo making a place there, moving himself up into 11th. That was a good move. Just saw a slight glance at that position change. Leclerc is in 3rd. This is going to make the championship very interesting. It's very, very close between these drivers. You see how close they get into turn 1 now. As Apex is certainly going to try and make a move. Stinos is making some considerable ground. The yellow flag there, and and there's a Haas of Amiaguna, and he locks up, I think, and he just went a little bit too deep. It wasn't too much of an issue there. There's some action going on between Just Gaming we'll have to see about Yo-Yo, but what we're seeing right now, KTD, is Apex, who's just made a move. What do you think of that one? And that was a really good move to move himself up into 6th place. Stinos is on the hunt now, and he's certainly going to try and hunt down Vedran, but he is still on the coattails of Leclerc, and that Red Bull is firmly in his sights, and he's going to be having certainly a good old scope on that one, and he's going to try and shoot a move potentially into turn 1 or around at turn 2 and 3, where we really like to see some really good side-by-side action there, and going to see if Anthony can make a move on Just Gaming, but he is within DRS, or he was, and now he's not. He's now losing out on a lot of ground. He's going to go down into his final position he said he would be happy with, into 8th place as we go on lap 32 for these drivers. Is Anthony going to go to the inside? He's going there, and Just Gaming was a little indecisive there, but he is going to get the switcheroo at turn 1, and he's going to fight back. Is he going to be able to hold it round the outside? Anthony just cuts him off there and steals that outside line for turn 2, which is a more preferential line. We'll see what Tay and Amir Guna can do about this. Vedran is 1.2 seconds behind. I'm not sure if Stinos is making up as much ground as he would have liked. These drivers are on 13 lap old mediums now, didn't stop in that final pit stop. And as he said about Yo-Yo, we will get to Yo-Yo because he must be doing pretty well, and I say that KTD, he's got himself a 3-second pen there, and that's going to pull him down a little bit. We've got penalties, 9 seconds for Anthony, 6 seconds for Leclerc, so that's going to drop him down potentially. We might see Stinos getting into 4th place. I'm impressed with the 2 reserves at the top. They may want a seat in Monday night. They will make it very, very exciting with all these fast drivers now in Monday side-by-side action for Amir Guna and Tay Pasta. Tay moves up to 9th, takes a crucial point, but hasn't got any time penalties. Trunders has left. We're now down to 13 drivers in this race. Just a reminder, that was a little while ago, but a little reminder there, penalty for Apex. That's not what he wanted, but he has got Anthony behind with 9 seconds, so he's comfortable in that regard. Is Stinos going to make up enough time in the next 2 laps? I don't think so. I think 5th might be his best spot. As you see, Anthony has fallen down. We saw a driver just tumbling down the order there, and it was Anthony, and he spun out at turn 11. We're on the penultimate lap now, and I said that's not good for Anthony. He's now knocked himself right out of the points. 2.6 seconds is the gap. You can just see that Williams ahead of him, and he can see Leclerc ahead of him. He's going to move himself up into 4th place. He's going to get back himself some really decent points. Tay Pasta moves on the inside of Just Gaming. He's now into 8th place, but he is going to fight back on Tay. He's not giving this one up. He's going to look to the outside this time for sure. Is he going to go to the inside now for turn 2? He does. Now he's firmly behind Tay, straddled the curb a little too much there, maybe, as we're seeing them coming around. I reckon we're going to see Anthony try and steal that fastest lap away from whoever has it at the moment, who is Tim, who's going to get maximum points for this race. Tay has had a bit of an issue there, and they're still side by side, so we turn 10, and Tay keeps that position. They're still side by side. Great racing between the two of them, and Justin moves himself up into 7th place. He has got penalties over Tay, of course, so these drivers don't want to be taking too many risks. Yo-Yo has just gone wide at turn 12. Let's just see what Tay will do here, what Justin is going to do. We're on to the final lap now, as So we'll just wait to see what happens. Justin's going to defend to the inside, and he just squeezes Tay out there. As we've seen in real Formula One of late, Amir Guna is getting involved in this as well. It's all, the gloves are off in this final lap. It's round 12 of this race, and seriously, the fight is on. Tay is trying to get past and gets himself a time penalty there. That was silly for him. We're going to go back to the front very quickly. We'll see what happens. Tim has led this race from start to finish pretty much. His countryman, his fellow countryman, Stinos, took the pole position, but Tim has been quite comfortable for most of the way through this race. He comes round the final corner, our Tuesday night driver reserving in his team in Aston Martin, and he comes home to win the Hungarian Grand Prix and takes the fastest lap on the final lap. We'll see if Anthony can do anything about that. Leclerc comes home in fourth, but then takes Vedran, Stinos goes out to fourth. Amir Guna, and potentially looking like Just Gaming, is going to get 7th place here, and he does. Tay takes 8th, 9th place for Amir Guna. Yo-Yo goes past H. Bosworth at the line, takes that position. Iggy Combo is going to come home in 12th, so close, but yet so far for the Alfa Romeo's. Drivers of the day for me, for the choice, is Tim Shipop. I'm going to give it to Just Gaming as well, actually. Tim Shipop, Just Gaming, and Stinos with that excellent comeback drive. And we'll go through the final order in just a few seconds. Apologies for the microphone issue some of the way through this race. I do hope you saw the good action I was seeing and trying to commentate on, but you weren't able to see. Just Gaming does get the driver of the day in the game, but he is going to get the driver of the day. Apologies, guys, if I hadn't put it up yesterday. I thought someone else was going to do it, so we have missed yesterday, but unfortunately for that, we'll just go through the final order as we see Tim take the win. Tim does take the win in Monday night. We'll see him back tomorrow at Monza. We'll talk about that in a few seconds' time. Jake Saber, the other reserve, the Welshman, comes home in second place. He really had the soul from a dragon today to get himself into second and keep it there, as Vedran comes home in third. Stinos is fourth. Fifth is Leclerc. Apex was in sixth. Just Gaming was in seventh. Tay Baston was in eighth. Amir Guna was in ninth. Yo-Yo was in 10th. H. Bosworth was 11th and 12th for Iggy Combo. No points for Alfa Romeo. Anthony comes home in 13th and did take that fastest lap. DNFs for Trunders Freedom, who retired on track, so will be getting a quali ban next week. Milan Massimo is in 16th. 17th was Boosted. 18th was Bugs Bunny. DxT Cons was 19th on his pad, not as he usually is on his wheel, and Phoenix rounds out this 20 driver grid, finishing last in the first of the DNFs. So that was the Hungarian Grand Prix on Monday night. That's the second time in 2 weeks that we've been here, and I have to say that was a cracker to watch. It wasn't so bad being on my own how good that was. So tomorrow we're going to the Temple of Speed for Italy. Didn't talk about the Pointless Point podcast. That'll come out tomorrow. I'm going to be able to do that after work tomorrow, as I don't have to get such an early night on Tuesday night, so apologies for the late one of that, but please make sure to check that out. What a recovery, says Vedran in the comments. That certainly was. I do love my new PS5, being able to see the comments come up on the screen. That's really tomorrow and next weekend, and we're SRM on Wednesday. I'm not too sure where that is. I'll make sure to check that out for next week. Tell you where they're at on Wednesday night. So as I said, tomorrow is Monza, and then Sunday night it's which I thought it was, there really is no place like home. It's the British Grand Prix. It's Silverstone on Sunday, so make sure to check that out. One of my favourite races of the year, and certainly to commentate on. And of course, you're interested about what's coming next week in MNR, and I don't know because my phone just died, so that was just great. And I'll just tell you, as I have got my trusty iPad in front of me, and you guys have got a treat next week. You've got Britain Sunday and you got Britain on Monday by the looks of things, so that it wasn't meant to be, but the way the calendars have now worked out, I think that's what it's going to be. And then we're going to have our week off break, and maybe a new format, as I said, new sprint format will be coming as well, so we'll have 2 different ones to show you throughout this season. Anyway, thanks for watching this Monday night race. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. Look out for the Pointless Point podcast. Keep that notification bell clicked on. Make sure to follow us on Instagram on Limitless DxT coverage for some content on there as well. If you want to join this league and race with us on any of the 3 days, make sure to put a comment about joining our Discord in the comments below. I might put a link to the Discord in the description just below as well. Anyway, from me, it's thank you very much for tuning in to Limitless DxT coverage on a Monday night, and hopefully we'll see you next week at Britain for Super Sunday racing.